Hello, my name is Paul Wallace. I'm the Africa editor at The Banker magazine, and I'm here with Frank Nagel, who's the Director of Advisory Services at Rabo Group. Rabo Group is part of Rabobank and does a lot of work in sub-Saharan Africa in providing financial services to countries there. Frank, thanks very much for joining us today. I'd like to start off by asking you just how important better access to financial services is for the development of sub-Saharan African countries.
Well, there are lots and lots of theories nowadays on the importance of being financially included, to have access to financial services. If you have access to financial services, it leads to a better life. But apart from all those theories, we have our own experience. Rabobank is now a very big and well-known bank, but it started out in the late 19th century, being a bank created by smallholder farmers who didn't have access to financial services. And in getting organized, they managed to set up a bank and help to develop the rural parts of the country. So I think that really demonstrates how financial inclusion can actually contribute to economic growth.
And when it comes to Africa specifically, and some of the countries you do a lot of work in, you've got partner banks in places like Tanzania and Rwanda and Uganda. What would you say are the main challenges to increasing access to financial services?
I've been around there now for about 8-9 years, and what I see is huge dynamics in the financial sector. What remains especially challenging is to go out of the urban areas and go out to the rural areas, where a lot of people live, but where a lot of people are also dependent on agriculture. Now, to bring financial services in these areas is most impactful, but is also very challenging.
And how important is the use of mobile phones to giving people in rural areas access to banking services there?
Well, of course, there's a reason for banks to remain into the enclosures of the urban areas, because you are very close to your customers. If you want to go out into the rural areas, it becomes a different ballgame. You have to look for your clients, and you have to organize it in a very cost-efficient way. Now, setting up branches everywhere throughout the country is very expensive and maybe too costly to result in a sustainable financial organization. So you have to look for alternatives, and one of the alternatives could be mobile banking. Especially in Africa, we've seen that there's a very high coverage, so lots of people have access to a mobile phone and can, use a mobile phone to access financial services. What remains, though, despite the virtues of a mobile phone, is the cash in, cash out need of people.
Some people might say that this sort of so-called bottom of the pyramid banking is very difficult to make money from, but in Rabo Group's experience, is that not the case? Can you do it profitably?
It's the numbers that count. So if you want to do it on a small scale, it's not going to work. If we would only look at rural markets, it's not going to work. So we also have to link in the urban markets into the equation. If you do it well, and if you properly segment your markets, I think there is a business case to make. And definitely for all these segments that you identify, you want to set up an individual business case and want to see that some money can be made out of these markets. Because that's the only way to make things sustainable in the long run.
And just lastly, are there cultural issues as well that have to be taken into account? I mean, is it the case that a lot of people in rural Africa perhaps don't trust banks yet, that they perhaps feel intimidated by them, that they'd rather keep their cash, underneath the mattress? Is that the case? Is it changing, if so?
Well, culture is often used as an excuse for things being different. And to a certain extent, people are right. But economic principles are universal, I would say. So we've done surveys, for instance, in a country like Malawi, and went out to the people and asked, okay, what is the most important thing for you in the range of financial services that you need? And that is very often people told us that it is to find a safe place for their cash money rather than putting it under the mattress. So if you go out to these markets and you can build this trust with people, you can actually, well, get deposits into your system and then provide a broader range of financial services to these people.
Frank, thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you.